Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. We have Kimberly Archuleta with us. She is CEO at Advanced Learning Solutions, and we're going to have some fun today talking about e-learning solutions and everything in between. So this podcast is brought to you by my podcasting company, which is called podpire.com. If you need help starting, scaling, or be invited to a podcast like this one, find sponsors, or just monetize your existing podcast, you can go to podpire.com to seek some help with that. Kim, welcome to the pod. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself and about your company?
Hey, Charles, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Yes, I have like four companies, sold one of them, so I'm down to three. So I'm obviously a serial entrepreneur. I love the game and I love education. Education to me is something that's definitely a passion. I started my company, Advanced Learning Solutions, quite some time ago. I was doing something similar for a large bank. And a good friend of mine was like, you can do this for companies. If this bank needs what you're doing for them, then other companies need what you're doing for this company, for this bank. And it was a global bank. So I was like, that's a good idea. I wonder how I would create the platform. So I asked around and I asked the smartest people around me. I was pretty young then. So my group of like brilliant minds, it wasn't huge. So but yeah, I got a lot of great insight and I read a lot of books and I documented, competitors, platforms. I researched the heck out of this learning and development field. And I figured out that me creating my own platform, learning management system platform that houses all of the online courses, which we do now, but this was so long ago, would be ideal. I wanted to lease a platform, but it was just too expensive. So I built it on my own with an investor and it did pretty well. We had, great success. Our first big client was like a Toyota dealership with like 14 locations. It was awesome. Yeah. And I never marketed. It was just all word of mouth. But right after that, I literally started another company. So like a year and a half, 2 years later, I started another company. And this was kind of like, I knew I wasn't going to keep it. For some odd reason, I knew I wasn't going to keep it. So let's just say I sold it. Let me tell you about it. So basically, it was called Medical Academy. That's an amazing name, right? I kind of paid a lot of money for that name, medicalacademy.com. And this company was also in learning and development, but it was for doctors. And so we basically built these courses for doctors. And then I basically put in an application and went through this entire 2.5 to 4 year process to get accredited by the Board of Medical Education. And so my company became an accrediting body to where we can accredit courses, we can review the courses that doctors create, that other people create, to then provide these courses for doctors so then they can get the continuing medical education credit. And each doctor in each state has to have a certain amount of credits, just like lawyers, just like real estate agents and so on, to keep their license. So like I said, I thought this wasn't for me. I built this company and then I sold it just 2 years ago, or is it? Yeah, 2 years ago. And the cool part is they did not want the courses that I built out all the 4 years that I had that company, because their medical field was much different than what I was doing, and they let me keep the courses. So I just built another company. so now I'm creating, I believe, for a certain platform, the first AI healthcare courses for doctors, which is really exciting. So we have about 3. We just got 2 courses accredited, and we have quite a few more to bring to the table. And in the same breath, education is super important. Healthcare is super important. And what I'm doing and what the team is doing and the doctors and our faculty are doing is creating content that will help teach doctors to do their job better in the future. So it may be your great grandchild, Charles, or my son that watched this course that, had them do a different type of anything, whatever it is in regards to AI, using AI in regards to healthcare, and they saved that person's life, right? So it's just an honor to be a part of this new online training. We also can do symposiums, which means, doctors come to us. We have different locations where we will house them. It kind of slowed down during the whole situation a couple of years ago when a few people were sick, or obviously way more than that. And so the online portion of this company did very well because we couldn't, nobody can go out. So yeah. Do you have any questions about those two companies or three?
Tons. Yeah, tons. Okay, so let's start with the Medical Academy. Yes, great domain name. First, how did you guys make money off that? What was your business model there?
Our business model was to just get accredited. And to be honest with you, we had no debt. Thankfully, that's what the doctor asked when he first called me and said, I want to buy your company. Do you have any debt? And I said, no debt, no debt whatsoever. So our business model was to become accredited and then have these huge symposiums and these huge events for all the doctors to come for a weekend. And doctors pay a good amount of money to fly in to then have other doctors teach them. And then of course we pay the doctors, and then the rest goes to our company. And it's, it could be a $45,000 weekend. And this could be done every weekend. If we have one in Hawaii, if we have one in Europe, we have one, could be a destination like on a cruise. So that was our thought. However, when everybody started getting sick, my company plan didn't do so well. So thankfully, we were purchased at the right time. It just worked out so well.
And you tried to pivot online and do these online symposium, but it wasn't as effective?
It wasn't as effective because I hadn't met this other company that houses other courses, that has a huge book of business of doctors. So they get a pretty substantial percentage of my course revenue per course. So for example, I have 26, 32 courses, however many courses I have on their platform. They get a pretty big chunk every single time somebody buys our course, but they also have the book of business with all the doctors, and they also market it on their platform. So we pivoted to this platform, and now we're making passive income, and we're doing pretty well. I mean, just one of our courses made like $47,000 in 1 year, and we have 26 now, more obviously.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, doctors have deep pockets and they're so busy that they don't have time to spend that money most of the time. So, okay, the events and that Medical Academy, did you also provide online courses with that when you, okay, and the course, it costs, let's say minimum $1,000 per course?
We'll pay $20 even. We'll go down to $20 or $20. Yeah.
Wow. Why not more?
Yeah, so there's a lot of doctors that buy these courses because if you think about how many doctors are in the United States that have to have their required continuing medical education credits per year or per 2 years, there's a lot of doctors that, buy just one course.
So why not charge more if they have that much money? You A/B tested the prices and
we have, yeah, yep, great question. Our largest or most expensive course is $250, and we've sold quite a few of those, quite a few.
Okay, and I see some topics here like wellness, mental wellness for doctors is like very important because there's a high suicide and depression rate amongst doctors. They're so busy and often don't take care of themselves and so forth, and are burned out. So that was one example of a class.
Yeah, weight management too as well. Yeah, it's right. They're drinking soda all day, or they're drinking too much coffee, or
for doctors, like to manage their own weight.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
In addition to helping them help their clientele, their people, but also with themselves, because like you said, they need to take care of themselves.
Right. Very interesting. Okay, so pretty cool. And the person that bought it, that was another doctorpreneur, if you want.
Yeah. Yes. He was from Argentina, but he had companies here in the United States. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, and how did he found out about you? Because let's say that you reached $1 million cap after year 2, you became interesting, had no debts. Did you hire someone to help you with the transaction? How did he find out about you?
If you want to like think about manifestation, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I believe in it full force. I would write down on a notepad almost every day that I'm going to sell this company. I'm going to sell Medical Academy. I will sell Medical Academy. Medical Academy will be sold. And then because we are accredited by the Board of Medical Education, which is pretty phenomenal. You know, most accrediting bodies who even get that honor to be accredited to go through a whole 4-year process are hospitals or colleges. And I'm a single, Hispanic woman who did it. But as far as the actual purchase, he found our name on the Board of Medical Academy, or I should say the Board of Continuing Medical Education Board website. Yeah, that's what it was. So so who knows how many people he called ahead of me? Maybe they're in big debt. I don't know. I didn't ask. I was very excited that he called, and he was very excited about my answers. And so we went from there. It took about 8 months to sell the company, legal and all the good stuff.
And he bought you out for $3 million.
No, it's undisclosed.
All right, because I know that when you wrote that on a piece of paper, you had a number, right?
Yeah.
Which was at least $1 million, but yeah, undisclosed. Okay, well, it's very impressive to say the least. Then your 3 other businesses, tell me about them.
So Avance is the one, Medical Academy was the second, a la carte is the one that we pulled all those courses, a la carte continuing medical education. So it's a la carte CME. And now we have that company that's actually, we're building more courses, the AI courses, the series of AI courses. And now that's one company. And then I have the 4th company would be, it used to be called CBD Sea Salt, but it went through a brand change. And now it's called Hemp Sea Salt because we want to get it into actual stores. That brand change took about 7 months, which sucked. I learned a big lesson. Like, if you ever want to change your name, don't. Like, it takes way too long. And we couldn't really sell anything until we got the EIN number or the confirmation that the EIN number wasn't going to change. And the IRS is obviously extremely busy at this point in time. So it took forever to get that. So we couldn't really sell anything for some time. But what we sell is hemp products. So we infuse sea salt, your all natural, amazing sea salt, which is good for you. And we infuse it with CBD that has no THC in it. And then we also infuse bath salts with it. So eucalyptus and lavender.
How did you get that business idea?
I was meditating. One day during the course of the sale of Medical Academy. And I can't really do anything with Medical Academy at the moment because it's being sold. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? I need something to do. You know, this was my baby for like 4 years. And I still had Avance, but it was running automatically. So I'm like, I need to do something different. So I was meditating, and then it just came to me, like, what do people need? They have to have sodium. Everybody has to have sodium or you're going to get sick, like very sick. So I'm like, well, there's sodium in everything. Why don't I do something super healthy with sea salt? Why don't I infuse it with hemp? And one of my dear friends is CEO of one of the #1 CBD companies in the US. It's a research company, and they're here in Denver, and I've known him since he was 13. And so I asked him about this, like, can we do this? Would it work? And he's like, if it works, I'll be your business partner. And I was like, okay. So it worked. And now we're business partners. Yeah, we launched a couple years ago. We did super well, but again, we just got the EIN number confirmation that says, okay, now your name is hemp sea salt instead of CBD sea salt, and now you can sell. So now we can actually go into retail stores. But yeah, I'm getting there. It's like you do one company, then you do another company, and then now I'm migrating back to the hemp sea salt company, which is really fun company. Tangible.
It seems like a cool niche. And yeah, along the way, I'm a serial entrepreneur myself, and along the way you develop some kind of formula to run any types of business. In the past decade, arguably, I've been working on the business to build other businesses. So it's always interesting to touch many fields and get these ideas and at least experiment these niches, because they might not work out as well. Where did you get that ambition? Because yes, it's quite rare to see that you're an Hispanic woman and you seem to be quite successful. So like, where does that come from?
I think it comes from the wonderful women in my family. They're all, of course, Hispanic, wonderful, amazing, strong women, to the point where my mom did not take off like any days off of work all of her working life unless her kids were very sick. We had to be super sick. And she had 4 children. So she's just so ambitious. One of my great, amazing godmothers, who is no longer with us, but she started a food bank. Not only that, she ran 18 different softball and baseball teams for the Hispanic community. And I played softball since I was 5 to 18. And I had another aunt that, did wonderful things and is still doing wonderful things, who's on the board of our main college here. And so now I'm on the board of the campus as well, the campus college, for historical information for the college. So basically, because I saw them interact throughout the community and work so hard on so many different things and multitask, and also be moms and aunts and cousins and friends and a part of the church I was like, I can do that. So I basically just followed my role models and doing what they were doing. And thankfully I've gotten awards and I've been on, TV and interviews and so on, and magazines. And I just feel it's such a blessing. I can't believe like I'm here. I feel so blessed. And it would be, giving gratitude to the wonderful women that, taught me the way.
But you had challenges along the way. How did you resolve those?
So we can even talk about hemp sea salt. That's a challenge. I've never done anything tangible in my life. It's all been tech, right? Education and tech. And having a tangible product and actually putting it together yourself, like having a kitchen, we have to have a commercial kitchen to mix all of our salt and hemp. We have to, there's so many legalities with CBD. I had no clue. If I would have known, I probably wouldn't have even gone into this niche. But I'm in it. And so it took us like 8 months to get a bank account. It's crazy. You have to have a certain amount of insurance, very expensive insurance. So like those are things that are much bigger challenges than I even experienced becoming accredited by the Board of Medical Education. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I would say hemp sea salt is still a bit of a challenge for me because I'm still navigating the ways. I'm still figuring out how to market, because you can't market CBD at this point. Isn't that crazy? You could have like a little page on social media that says who you are, and it can say CBD, it can say your brand information, but you cannot pay to market. I had marketing budget to pay to market, but I can't market. So that's a challenge, right? So I am navigating the ways. So I was asked to be on our very large 9 news broadcast. And they asked me to talk about, CBD sea salt at the time when it was CBD sea salt. And I just couldn't believe that I was like on this like national news talking about my little sea salt. So those are small things, I guess, networking, getting to know people, telling people what you do. And that's how I basically started this whole entire entrepreneurial career, is communication and telling people my passion. And when they see you're truly genuine, whether you're challenged or not, they can give you, people like in the entrepreneurial field love giving advice, right? If I asked you a couple questions, you'd love to give me advice, and vice versa. What has worked for me? What has worked for you? And I take that information and I actually run with it. So I do my best navigating the waters. I do have like a business partner with hemp sea salt. So obviously he's a CEO for like the top research hemp CBD company. He has so much knowledge, and he's even younger than I. I have a business partner for a la carte, the company that we started after we sold Medical Academy. She's a wealth of knowledge. So it's good to have, entrepreneurial friends around you, along with any business partners. And I think it's really important to be okay with having a business partner. Sometimes it's needed, sometimes it is needed. If you don't want one, just think about it. You'll go a long way because there's 2 of you. So.
And as a female in a male-dominated industry, it is looking good a disadvantage or an advantage?
An advantage. Yeah.
How do you use that for your advantage?
Speaking, understanding what you're saying and understanding what they're saying. So, I can go into a room and talk to just about anybody about anything, even sports, even cars, because I love cars, right? So I think that I have that as well. I'm able to communicate. That's how I've grown in all of the businesses, is communication. Like going to for example, I went to a conference in Toronto and I met this gentleman, and he's a board certified anesthesiologist who went to Harvard, and he wanted to be on the board of my company. And I said, absolutely. These things are just phenomenal. He flew in for one of my other company's events, and he became one of the board members, and he's still with me, and he's still building courses. We just got accredited. We just accredited another course of his for a la carte, the a la carte company. So I don't know. I say it wouldn't be just looking good, but just feeling good, being confident, and having the understanding of what you want out of this conversation. And if it's just, getting to know somebody, then great. But if it's like business, which it usually is with me, then you'll see me work.
There you go. What do you have on your current vision board for the remainder of this year and the next year after?
I would like to tell you what I had on my vision board. It was travel. Like I haven't traveled as much due to, certain things the past couple of years. And so I traveled so much this year. I went to Europe twice. I went all over the place, and I loved every second. So the next few months before the end of the year, even before November 15th, I want to add 2 more AI courses to our portal. And then by the end of next year, or by the beginning of next year, I want hemp sea salt to be in 3 different stores. And I've been asked to be in 2. So I just have to get myself together, because again, it's a physical situation. It's not like, oh, I'm going to just type this all up. No, you have to physically go to to do everything. You have to physically touch the product, build the product, go to the kitchen, and so on. So hopefully I can get that done.
Interesting. Where can people find out more about you, Kim?
I'm on LinkedIn under Kimberly Archuleta. I think I have almost 10,000 folks that I'm connected to, which is pretty exciting. I also have a podcast myself called The Awakening Series. So I interview brilliant minds like yourself. So I'd love to interview you, Charles, and add you to the YouTube channel. I have over 60 videos on there in regards to anything that sparks your interest in regards to entrepreneurship and spirituality.
I'll give it a listen, and yeah, challenge accepted. So thanks to everyone that has listened today. That was Kimberly Archuleta and Charles Cormier as your host for another CEO Wisdom Podcast.com.